reviewing the courses for the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend and specifically the Dopey Challenge. All right, folks, hopefully you've been listening to all the podcasts and taking the advice, and hopefully you are ready and have the training that you need to be successful for these four races coming up. If you haven't, we're going to give you a couple of tips on maybe what to do to, I guess I would use the right word, Jed, survive this weekend if you're not trained for it. But we wanted to just take this podcast to talk about just the logistics of the race weekend, and specifically to just walk you through the courses. Maybe for you first timers, this could possibly put you at ease as to what you'll be facing, and just to kind of put a bow on this thing as we head towards the Dopey Challenge for 2023.
Let me ask a couple questions then, and I guess the first one would be brand new, never done this before. I get to sunny Orlando. I am in the happiest place on earth. What now? What am I doing with my first day? I know there's an expo. I know there's some pre-race activities. What am I doing first?
Yeah, you when you get checked into wherever, whether you're at a Disney resort or whether you're staying off property, the first thing you're going to do is, I would say, get there and just take a deep breath, especially if this is your first time. Just getting there is a stressful kind of piece of this pie, and I would say, just take a minute, 5 minutes, and just kind of calm down, take a deep breath, and just appreciate the journey that you've been on to get to this point. And then after you do that, if you're staying on Disney property, and again, this the number one benefit of staying on Disney property is the transportation. Then at that point, you're going to get on the bus, and there will be a bus from the Disney resorts that will take you to the Wide World of Sports where the expo is. Now, I will say this, up to this point, you will have received an email, and the expo is a little bit different this time. It's kind of you have to get a check-in. It's almost like riding Rise of the Resistance or something. You have to get a virtual check. So I'm just going to assume you have done all of those things, and you have got it to where you go to the expo. You will go. Then at that point, you'll head over to Wide World of Sports. You'll go into the area where it's like a big double-decker gym, and you'll all these things are clearly signed. Again, if you can get yourself to the Wide World of Sports, there's signage everywhere that'll take you exactly to where you need to go. You'll go in. You should have already signed your digital waiver. That is required. I will say this, that if for some strange reason, if you cannot sign your digital waiver, there will be waivers that you can print. I would assume there's probably going to be a line for those, because they're not going to have as many kiosks, because they are trying to get as many people to do the digital waiver as possible. At that point, you will make your way on in, and there will, again, signage will take you everywhere. You'll come over to the Dopey Challenge area. Good thing about when we will be checking in, if you're doing the Dopey, it is required. You have to do this. You cannot. They require you to go to check in the day before. So if you're doing the Dopey Challenge, you're doing this on Wednesday, and it's generally not as crowded as for. There's more people running just the half marathon, just the full marathon, which is over in the weekend. So Wednesday is not too bad as far as the crowd with that. So you'll check in, you'll get all your stuff, you'll go in, you'll get your bibs. You'll have two different bibs. You'll have a bib for the 5K and 10K, and then you'll have a separate bib for the half marathon and the full marathon. And so you'll get your bibs, and then you will walk over. You'll get your shirts. You'll have there will be 6 shirts, and that's something that surprises people sometimes, even though it's clearly stated, is that you get 6 shirts. You get 4 shirts for each race, plus you get the Goofy Challenge and you get the Dopey Challenge shirts. Now, you pay a lot of money for those shirts, but I've never, and again, I've been going down for years, doing the Goofy Challenge before the Dopey Challenge, and I'm a perfect Dopey, and I had never bought another piece of clothing that is for the Dopey Challenge or anything. I've just got the race shirts that they give you for each one, and so if you want to go buy some more merchandise, there's plenty of Run Disney merchandise, and over in the expo, a lot of good vendors and things that you can do. But you get 6 nice shirts for your entry fee. So that is something that some people, I guess they just don't think about it, and they'll go buy another shirt, and the shirts, like everything at Disney, they're not cheap.
Well, and they're observing the cardinal Disney rule: exit through the gift shop.
Yes, exit through the gift shop. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to buy anything you want to buy. But up to this point, I had never bought. Now I have spent a lot of money at Disney, touring the parks and doing other things. But I have not bought the shirt. So that's really everything that, as far as just getting all your ducks in a row the day before race day.
All right, well, that's Wednesday. So Thursday morning, bright and early, headed to the 5K. Where am I going, and what's it look like?
Yeah, the 5K that's when things start. And, I guess first timers, you need to be ready for, it'll be unlike any 5K you've ever run as far as just the pageantry of what you're going to experience. But you just want to. This is the first day of the getting up early, and so you're going to be getting up early. You're going to be getting on a bus. You want to stay. I would say this, especially with the Dopey Challenge participants. Make sure on Wednesday. I should have said this on Wednesday. Make sure that you are staying well hydrated. That is something I did this one year where you are. Everything's going on. You're just getting to Disney. You're going to the expo. You're doing all these things. You're excited about the race, and you forget to drink. You forget to stay hydrated. And the hydration and the nutrition builds upon each other leading up to that big day on Sunday. So you want to stay hydrated. I would say first thing in the morning, start your nutrition. Get your your electrolytes inside of you. Do all that start that on Wednesday. Even though, quote unquote, it's just a 5K, it is you're still going to go out and you're going to be getting 3 miles in. You just want to stay hydrated because this is leading up to the big day. So this is going to be your first experience of, if you're a veteran, a lot of these things are going to be just kind of common knowledge to you. But if you're not a veteran, if this is your first time and you're staying on Disney property, then you're going to experience the buses. And let me alleviate your concerns. If you're on Disney property, if you can get out of your room and walk to the bus stop at your resort, that's all you have to do.
Okay.
They will get on that bus. They're going to drive you they're going to drive you there. You're going to get off. You'll go through security. I'll say this about security. Unless you absolutely have to have some kind of a bag, or some people run like those little fanny pack things or whatever. If you've got one of those on, it's going to take you longer to get through security. If you don't have any kind of bag, anything you're carrying like that, there's another security that you just walk through that is much quicker. So just be prepared for that. If you are going to have some kind of a bag or something, then you will have to go through a more in-depth bag check. And so those, depending on when you get there, those lines can back up, and that can add a little bit more stress to your morning. But once you get through security, you'll go to a staging area, and it's where your friends and family can be in that area, and there will be a band playing. There'll be some characters out there. Like I said, just the pageantry of it, and just it is loud, and there's a lot of lights, and it's very exciting, and you just get really excited. And then when you leave that area, you walk into the corral area, and this only runners at this point. So family and friends, they stay behind, but you go over to your corral area. That corral number will be on, or letter will be on your, it'll be on your bid. So you just go to that area and you can determine, especially if you're in the A corral and you're wanting to not deal with any walkers or anything like that, you want to get there and kind of move up to the front of that corral, because that'll be the very first people that start. And the 5K and 10K are different than the half and full. Now they say they are improving this, but I think we will find out. We will find out if they've improved it, because up until this point, inside the A corral. Well, let me talk about the half and full. In the half and full, you've got the corrals, and it is, if you're in the A corral, you're an elite or you're a fast runner, and then it goes back from there. And generally, when you get towards the back, that's where you're going to have more walkers, and so it's now they're scattered throughout, but that A corral takes off, and they're running. I mean, it's a fast group. In the 5K and 10K, up to this point, it's just been a mixture. It is people that it's the very first time they've ever gone to a race, and they're just there to have a good time and walk the course, which is fine. And then you got other people that are elites that are trying to PR a 5K and trying to run, they're trying to run a 16-minute 5K. It has created, because and I'm going to talk about the course, it's kind of a log jam at the beginning of this course when you start. So you have to position yourself to try to, depending on what your goals are. For most people doing the Dopey Challenge, you're not going to be going out trying to run that 5K as hard as you can. You're probably going to just kind of be a shake out your legs run. Just go out in a nice, easy pace that you're going to run. But you will encounter, in the 5K and 10K especially, it's just a mixture. You're probably going to be, if you're trying to run it, you're probably going to encounter a lot of walkers on the course, no matter what corral you're in. You just got to be prepared to navigate that. But, the real thing with the 5K, especially first timers, is it's just really exciting. It's that first day. They have race announcers. There's there's characters. There's lights. They shoot fireworks off whenever they start each corral. It's just really exciting. That's good, but yet it can also, what happens when it's like a quarterback.
Yeah, it's an adrenaline spike.
Yeah. When that adrenaline spikes up, the quarterback may come out the beginning of a thing. What are they doing? They're overthrowing the receivers by 5 yards. You can get so excited and go out and you just get caught up in it and you're running really hard. And then next thing you know, you've set a bad course of events for these next 3 days. So for you Dopey challengers, use the 5K day as kind of a day of just getting into hey, this thing's starting. I'm here to enjoy it, because the issue is you get up early, you get on the bus, you ride your bus over there, you walk through security, you're out there with your friends and family, you wait in the corral, all this music's playing, all this excitement's going on, fireworks go off, and 30 minutes later, you're done getting on your bus heading back to the resort.
Right.
So during that, I guess the best advice I can give you for the 5K is enjoy the experience. You're experiencing that Run Disney experience for the first time. Enjoy it. Take everything in. Don't blow up on the run. Go out and just enjoy the run. 5K course is pretty. I'll kind of walk you through that 5K course. If you're familiar with the Epcot parking lot, you're gonna start towards the back of the Epcot parking lot, and what I talked about earlier was where it can get really congested is you run to the back of the parking lot and you take a right, and it's pretty quickly this happens, and it gets really congested right there, and there's a little bit of you have to watch, especially in this very first area, when you take off out of the back of the parking lot and you take a ride and you're running along the back of the parking lot, it gets really tricky right there, and you can step off the course. And if you step off the course right there, there are some holes and things right off of the pavement.
Right.
You just got to be careful about those. 5K is a basic course. You just run around the back of the parking lot, and then you come back you'll run into the back of Epcot over around that Mexico pavilion. You'll come through if you know where they'll have pictures there. Is it the three bandoleros?
Caballeros.
Yeah, Caballero. Yeah, those guys. If you know where they take pictures, right there, there's like a little brown wall. That's where you come back into Epcot, and then you just run around the World Showcase. There will be hydration on the course. Don't come out there with a hydration pack to run the 5K. There will be hydration on the course. There will be, you'll run around World Showcase, which is the big lake. You'll run all the way around, go through all of the pavilions, and then you'll exit out down there where the Skyliner is. You'll come all the way around the course, and you'll exit out over there where the Skyliner is, and you'll run backstage a little bit, kind of behind Canada and that area, and then you'll run on back through Epcot, come back into where the World Showcase is, and then you'll exit right. You'll come straight down towards Spaceship Earth, and then you'll take a ride and exit out. So it's a super simple course. Like I said, a good first start. I mean, on that first day, running into Epcot and going around and seeing the ball lit up early in the morning, it's just kind of a good start to get you into the groove. You'll finish. When you finish, you'll get your first medal of the week, and then they'll give you you'll get a banana and some Powerade, and also the awesome Disney Run box, which has the nuclear cheese in it, which it's like the nacho cheese.
Okay.
Just the processed nacho cheese that is some of the best stuff that you'll ever taste of your life. But you'll get your box and a banana and a Powerade, and like I said, you will be back over to your bus. And the interesting thing is, if you're starting in the A corral, just be prepared for this. If you finish the race in 16, 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, you're going to be sitting there. You're going to be standing waiting on your bus. You may have to stand there for a little while because some people have not even started yet.
Oh, wow.
Some of the last corrals have not even started yet. And so one year that happened to me when I stood there for about 30 minutes before all the runners were through. So it's a quick morning. Again, but what you're doing is you're building towards the weekend. Use your 5K to make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you're taking in some recovery drink. Eat a good breakfast that morning afterwards, and then, like I said, we talked on the podcast about touring. It's a great morning to go back, take a shower, eat breakfast, go into a park early that morning, and get a few hours of park touring in on the 5K day.
Does the 10K share any of the 5K course? I know sometimes some courses do that. I don't know if Disney does or not.
Yep. It does. It actually does. It shares the World Showcase and some of the other. It's going to start in the same area, and instead of taking a right to head behind Epcot, you're going to take a left, and you're going to run out. You're going to run through where you enter Epcot. If you're coming in a car and you're coming all the way to the parking lot, you're going to take a left. You're going to run down that road, and that's kind of a little bit of a boring part of the course. Usually they'll have somebody standing up on the entrance to Epcot. I know Anna and Elsa were there one time. They'll have I don't know who it'll be, but somebody will be standing there. And you run out, about the first mile is just running straight out that road. Then you're going to make a U-turn, and you're going to come back down towards Epcot. You're going to cross the bridge, same bridge. If you're familiar with the bridge that we We come over in the half and full marathons. It's that same, I mean, not full marathon, with the half marathon, the bridge that you come back as you're about to enter Epcot, you'll come back across that bridge. And this is a little bit, this is different than the 10K course in the past. The 10K course in the past has gone way on down that road and come in the back of Epcot. We don't do that this time. It kind of goes backwards from if you run the 10K before years ago, you know that you come in and you do World Showcase and then you go over to the boardwalk. This is coming in backwards. About mile 2.5 is where you're going to be entering over at Epcot. Basically the same place that you enter when you're coming back in from the half marathon course, if you're familiar with that. But you'll come back into Epcot and you'll be backstage, which means that you're not out in the main area. And then you're going to come back into Epcot at about mile 3 and enter right in the World Showcase. You're going to enter in and you will run to the right. You're not running to the left. You're going to go the Canada way.
Okay.
So you'll come over towards Canada, and then as soon as you come back in towards Canada, you're going to go backstage again, and you're going to come in behind. If you've run the course before, you'll know where I'm talking about. But over where the Skyliner is, there's kind of an area that goes backstage from that area before you enter the park. If you're coming from the boardwalk area, that's where you're coming back in, and that's when you're going to hit the boardwalk. And again, you run before, we're doing this backwards from what we've done it before. We're gonna take a ride and we're gonna run by a beach club and yacht club. We're gonna run by that first, come all the way around, cross the bridge. There's the second medical tent will be over there at the bridge that bridge that crosses over that takes you over to the Swan and Dolphin Resort. You're gonna come back through there. Mile 4 is going to be on the boardwalk. It's going to be right there at, if you're familiar with the whole boardwalk area, right where the boardwalk villas are. If you've ever stayed in that resort, that's going to be mile 4. Then you're going to come back over and you're going to enter back in to the World Showcase right there at the International Gateway. You're going to come in. You'll cross the bridge. Then you're going to go in behind France. And so I'm thinking that this is going to be up where the Ratatouille ride is. I'm not exactly how it's going to.
It's back there at the back, and I know there are a couple of access points back.
Yeah, it's going to be back. It looks like it looks like it actually goes backstage behind the Ratatouille ride, but you're gonna circle that Ratatouille ride, come back in, and then mile 5 is going to be over there around Germany. And then from that point, you're just following World Showcase all the way back around. You're going to head back out of World Showcase towards the Epcot ball. And then as all of them do, you'll exit out and go behind, you'll cut in behind, Mission Space and those rides. You'll go behind those, and that's where you'll head out to the finish line. Finish line, the same spot for every race. But so it is, the difference this year with the 10K is that it's backwards. So you're not going all the way behind. Used to be you would come in pretty much the same spot you would come in on the 5K. You would just add, really the distance was added out on the roads. This time they're bringing you back in to Epcot from the opposite end, and then you're going around World Showcase, not World Showcase, Boardwalk and World Showcase, the opposite direction that we've done it in the past.
In the 10, is this the first place we have to start worrying about the balloon ladies?
This is you don't have to worry about it in the 5K.
Okay.
5K is supposedly untimed, even though they do have a clock on. It is supposedly untimed. The 10K, it's up for debate. Now, this has been a widely debated in the Wine and Dine half marathon. People were being swept inside of Epcot. That was something that we thought did not happen. I think Disney has taken a stance now that they are, for safety reasons and for other reasons, in the half marathon and full marathon and getting people out of the parks, they are being more stringent about about sweeping people. Used to be, I'll talk about that in half marathon and full marathon. I think if you're keeping a generally, if you're around that 16-minute pace, you're not going to get swept in the 10K.
Okay.
Now, if you're out there, and here's where people get in trouble, is they will be walking really slow intentionally and stopping for all the character stops and all. If you're doing that, you can end up, and you're out there very easily 2 hours, and you're just at that point. They're probably, what would happen in the 10K is they're just going to tell you, hey, you need to get going. No more stops. And so I don't think you need to stress about the 10K with the balloon ladies. And what the balloon ladies are, they start dead last and they maintain a 16-minute pace, which stated policy Disney is 16-minute pace. You have to maintain that to not be swept, which is pulled off of the course. But I think just keep going. For you Dopey challengers, I would say the 10K again. Don't go out and kill yourself. Don't go out and try to PR a 10K. Enjoy the moment. 10K, same thing. All the stuff I talked about in the beginning is going to be the same for the 10K. As far as the corrals, you're still in those. It's A, B, C, D corral. The staging area is the same. The start line is the same. The finish line is the same. Obviously, it's a different course, but don't go out and blow yourself up. You want to remember in the morning to stay hydrated. Get your nutrition in afterwards, and again after the 10K, because you're going to be, if you run the 10K, even if let's say you average out on the course a 12-minute mile, then that's 72 minutes, about 74 minutes. So an hour and 14 minutes, you could very easily be back at your resort by 7, and then it's a great opportunity to get a breakfast and go tour the parks if you're going to tour the parks, and then come back. So that's your 10K. That's your 10K course.
And then Saturday it gets serious.
Yes, it's really, and people will say, it's funny. You'll see people posting all over Facebook in the groups after you finish the 10K. Hey, we're halfway there.
Right? No, you're not.
And you're not halfway there. You're not even halfway there after you finish this race on Saturday.
Right.
Technically with the mileage, but this is definitely where the business picks up, and this is where everything changes. And on the half marathon day is where you can really, really mess your Sunday up if you go out and you do the wrong thing for the half marathon. Half marathon, totally different animal in the morning. You will go into you'll enter in through security. Same deal with that. You got a bag. It's going to take longer. You go into the runner staging area. There will be a band. There will be all kind of things going on. They will have coffee there. They will have bagels. There will be tents and things set up for that. I will say this. This happened to me about 3 years ago when I was down there. And I was planning on, because I was drinking my water, and I wanted to, in the mornings, I always, during these races, I force myself to take in 32 ounces of either water or my electrolyte drink before I drink coffee. Because I love coffee, but it can dehydrate you as well. And so I was just drinking my water and electrolytes before I got there. Then I was going to drink the coffee there. Well, when I got there, all I had was my Magic Band. Well, the Magic Band system was down.
Oh, wow.
And so you couldn't, it was cash on you either.
Yeah,
you paid cash or card.
Yeah.
I had neither. I didn't have any. And so you may want to keep a little cash on you or a card or something. Don't just depend on your Magic Band to be able to buy those things. But huge area right there. Tons of porta johns and everything, all these things going on. Then where for the 5K and 10K, the corrals are literally right beside that little area, the kind of the celebration area where friends and family can be. Not so for the half and the full. For the half and full, you have quite a walk just to walk out to the corrals. And so you'll leave that staging area and you will walk kind of it's right there where the 5K course starts and goes to the back of Epcot. You walk back there and take a left, and it's a pretty long walk out to the corrals. And when you get out there, you will be, if it's your first time running, you'll be, when you walk out first and you see the corrals and all the people in them, it can be a bit overwhelming and intimidating because there are thousands of people. It used to be big. It used to be up to 25,000 people in each of those races. It's not that many now, but it's still a tremendous amount of people. So you will get out to that corral area. You want to give yourself a little bit more time because of that walk that you have to get out there. But you'll get out and you'll go to your corrals. I'll say this: Disney is unlike a lot of places in that whatever your corral number is, you're not going to be able to move up in corral. So some people will try that, and they have people at the entrance to each corral checking the bibs to make sure that people are in the right corral. Now, you can move back because some people have friends and other things running there, and say if your time got you into the C corral and you've got a friend that's running in the E corral, you can back up to the E corral. They just can't move forward to the C corral.
Okay, so you can go that way. You can't.
Yep, you go backwards. You just can't come. You just can't go forward. But this is where you will feel a definite change on this day. I mean, you can tell it's just okay. Now we're cooking with gas.
Right.
I mean, this is the half marathon, and this is where your mind can start playing tricks on you, and this is really that first time you start thinking, because yesterday you felt great. It's like, oh, I did the 5K, felt good, 10K. Hey, I felt good. I could have run harder. You're feeling that. So you're feeling good. You're feeling good about your training. And then you're standing there. All these people are around you. And we start looking around and saying, wow, they look like they're more prepared than I am for this. And man, I'm about to run a half marathon. And for a lot of people, maybe they've run a marathon, maybe they run a half marathon. They've never run a half marathon, then run a full marathon the next day.
Right.
You start thinking about that stuff, and your mind can really start weighing on you. So I would encourage you at this point, just always keep remembering, why am I here? Why am I doing this? And just remember, all I have to do is keep moving forward. And again, tons of fireworks, tons of stuff going on. They're pumping you up, playing the crazy music the whole time. And so you're getting really, really excited. And when those fireworks go off and your corral is starting, you can go out there and blow yourself up if you want to. Just again, I would take it easy on this day. If you want to attempt to run the full marathon and if you're wanting to do more on Sunday than just, kind of walk, jog, see the character, stop and do that, then you're really going to want to take it easy on this day, because you can get so caught up in it. And when the fireworks go off and you take off, basically what you're doing is you're gonna run from Epcot to Magic Kingdom and back is what you're doing. You take off in, you start out on the road behind Epcot, and you're going to run down, and you're going to turn to head to Magic Kingdom. And when you head down to Magic Kingdom, you'll run through the entrance to Magic Kingdom. You'll run down to you'll run by the Ticket and Transportation Center, and then you'll run down by you'll go on down by the Contemporary. You'll enter into Magic Kingdom. It's really cool. For people that have not done this, it's your first Disney race. When you run into the Magic Kingdom, it is awesome. I call it the reveal. My favorite part of the weekend is when you come walking into that first time you see the castle, and it's dark, the lights are on. I mean, the whole Main Street USA will be slam full of people cheering you on. I mean, it is awesome to to see. And so you'll run through and you'll run through. You'll come in about mile 5. You'll be right in front of the castle at mile 5, and then you'll take a right. You're going to run over into Tomorrowland. You'll come through Tomorrowland, come up through Fantasyland. Then you'll run through the castle. After you run through the castle, you'll come over there and run right through Frontierland, and you'll actually exit. And a lot of people don't even think you can get out that way, but right beside Splash Mountain, there's where the railroad is. You'll cross the railroad and come out. After you come out of the Magic Kingdom, you'll come on over to what we call Cone Alley, and this is probably, now that they've gotten rid of Wild World of Sports, this is my least favorite part of any of the courses. And you run this half marathon and full marathon day. They call it Cone Alley. You come out of the back of Magic Kingdom, you get on a long road that runs up and eventually passes by the Grand Floridian on your left, but it's just a 2-lane road and it's got cones in the middle of it. And
that sounds like fun.
It sounds like fun. And it really, you just come out of the Magic Kingdom, so you're all excited. I just saw the castle, I ran through the castle, saw everything. Then you get out on this road and it's like you're running back at wherever home is for you. And so you hit Cone Alley. That's one of those mental places you just got to get through. Because once you get through Cone Alley, you'll pass the Grand Floridian, and you'll come on out of Magic Kingdom, the Magic Kingdom Resort area, and then you're just back on the road to Epcot. There'll be marching bands playing, there'll be character stops, all those things. You just have to determine what you're going to do. If you want to stop and see all the characters, stop and see them. Just take it for what it's worth, especially if you're doing the Dopey. Don't go out there and kill yourself on this day, or you're going to be in trouble come the next day. You run back to Epcot. You come in. You're going to come in the exact same way you came in for the 10K, but you're not going to go out to World Showcase. You're just going to run right. All is come out the back of Epcot, and that's where you're going to finish in the same spot. And at that point, that is when you want to make sure during this race you're hydrating, make sure you're taking in electrolytes, make sure right after you run that you're taking in nutrition, that you are getting your body back ready for what's coming on the next day. And this is the day that I would encourage you, if there was one day that you're going to stay out of the parks, this would be the day to do it,
right.
To stay off your feet. You talked in the last podcast about how you walk 10 miles in the park.
10, 11, 12 miles.
You can do that very easily if you
right.
go into a park. This is where this is the day you want to take care of your body. You want to stretch out good. You want to make sure you're staying hydrated, not just with water, but you want to be getting electrolytes inside of you. I mean, this is the day that you're preparing for the next day.
So then the next day, this is a big one.
Yes.
The payoff, you're not going to finish the Dopey unless you finish this one. You've said several times, either Saturday or Sunday needs to be the one that you're taking seriously. You either approach the half with intention to kind of smash it, or you take it easy and you approach the full with that's what's going to get your effort. So no matter what your focus has been, here it is, 26 miles. So what now?
Yeah, this is when you talk about where business picks up. Let me just say this. Saturday night, especially if this is your first time, you're going to doubt yourself, and you're going to wonder why you did this. You're going to think this is a terrible idea. I'm sore. You felt really good the first 2 days, 5K, 10K day. Do the half marathon. Even if you take it easy, you're still going to be feeling that in your body.
Right.
And you're going to have thoughts like this, like, there is no way I can do this. Squash those thoughts as soon as they come into your mind. You're here for a reason. Why are you here? And you've got to keep moving forward. So you get up Sunday morning, you're going to be extremely tired. You're going to be sore. You're going to be probably a little dehydrated, no matter how much you've been hydrated. So you want to start controlling what you can control on that day. Get yourself hydrated. And the way, here's, and I don't sound great, but you want to be drinking enough in that morning to where you got to go to the bathroom before you leave your place. You want to get that hydration with electrolytes inside of it. And then you want to be at a point where when you get off the bus and you're walking to the corrals where you have to use one of the porta johns. You want to have those electrolytes and water going into your body.
Because you're not going to catch up, right? You have to be ahead.
No way to catch up. And that's why I went back to that Wednesday. And I would say even now, when you're listening to this, you're probably going to be listening to this a couple of days before the races start. You've got to stay ahead of your hydration. That's why I mentioned on Wednesday, the day of the expo, you need to be drinking then. You need to be hydrating then to be able to stay ahead of this. Because once you get behind, you get out on the course on Sunday and you get dehydrated, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And again, electrolytes. I use something called base salts. Some of y'all know what that is, but just different electrolyte things. Powerade, which is on the course, does not have a lot of electrolytes in it. So you may want to look at getting, and there will be some of these things at the expo that you can pick up, just some electrolytes that you can get, because just drinking water and just drinking Powerade will not be enough. But so you that's prepping. You're going to be standing in the corrals, and again, you're going to be having some bad thoughts. You're going to be excited 1 second, and then you're going to be, oh man, what did I do? And how am I going to get through this? What if I get sweat? What if I'm not? You'll have all these what if. Don't have the what is. Control what you can control. You need a mantra, something that you can repeat to yourself during the course of this day to keep you going. And again, it may be control what you can control. It may be do hard things. Hey, why am I out here? Why am I one of the few people that's trying the Dopey challenge? Keep that mantra in your head. Just remember this: keep moving forward. Just keep moving forward. Even if you just got to walk, whatever you've got to do, keep moving forward. So you're standing there and the boom, fireworks go off. How the course has changed over the last couple of years used to be exactly like half marathon. You would run straight to Magic Kingdom. Now you don't do that. Now you actually whip around and you're going to run into, you'll start the marathon. You'll start running out towards, like you're going to be running down to turn right to go to Magic Kingdom. And then you're gonna whip into, instead of doing that, you're gonna whip into Epcot. You're gonna run right through the middle of Epcot, and then you're gonna run through Epcot and come out the back of Epcot, and you're gonna cross back. You're gonna come back to where the start line is, and you're gonna be 4 miles in.
Oh wow!
So
you'll concentrated at the beginning.
Yep, you'll make like a big loop. It's almost like doing a 5K, but you'll make a loop. You'll go into Epcot and kind of come through. And let me just say this: you're going to be underwhelmed by the first 4 miles of the course. When I say you run through Epcot, it may be just because you're tired. That first few miles is rough because your legs are sore. It's early in the morning. You're having bad thoughts. You got 26 miles in front of you. That first 4 miles is kind of underwhelming. It's not like running through Epcot later in the day whenever you're finishing up the course. And so you're going to whip back through, and basically when you're going to come past the start line again, and you're going to be 4 miles in. Then you take that 4 miles, and then you start running towards Magic Kingdom. So you're going to run all the way down to Magic Kingdom, and you're going to be You're going to run the same way, do the same thing that you did before. You're going to go down, go into Magic Kingdom. You're going to come through Magic Kingdom. One thing that has changed with the course this year, which is interesting. It's the first time that I believe we've ever done this in any Run Disney event. But when you come out of, you're gonna run through the castle. Same way, you do everything the same. Except you'll go a little bit further into Fantasyland than you did during the half marathon. You'll come running through the castle. Then when you head over to Frontierland and pass through Liberty Square, you're actually going to take a left and go into Adventureland, which is the first time. I know Marathon Weekend is the first time that I don't want to say for sure any Disney race. I think it is, but definitely for Marathon Weekend, it's the first time that we're ever going to run through Adventureland. And so you'll run through Adventureland with the one benefit of those added 4 miles at the beginning of the race is now when you leave Magic Kingdom, when you leave the park, you're 11 miles in. So you're approaching the halfway point. You're going to come out of the park, and then you'll get back out there on Cone Alley, which is, it is what it is. Not a fun part of the course. And then you're going to come all the way out. And this is something I do like about the first 4 miles being in Epcot, which again, during those 4 miles, you're going to be underwhelmed unless it has changed and they've added more characters or whatever. But it's not a very exciting part of the course. But when you come out of the Magic Kingdom, you're going to come basically up towards the very end of the parking lot area, and you're going to take that right to go towards Animal Kingdom. That's the halfway point. So you're 13.1 miles in. So that used to not be the case. That was 4 miles less. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're leaving that area at mile 9 instead of mile 13, it
feels completely different.
Feels completely different. It can give you a little bit of a mental boost. You're leaving the Magic Kingdom area, which is generally going to be the most exciting area for people. You're leaving that area and you're halfway complete. So now, another pretty long stretch, you're going to run over towards the Animal Kingdom. And so it can be one of those areas that can work on you mentally as well. Again, just keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Break this thing down into mile segments. After you pass mile 13, ask yourself this question: can I run a mile? Mm-hmm. Can I get through another mile? That's all you have to do, just get through that mile. And almost like what we say, if you do hard things today, tomorrow will take care of itself. If you'll get through this mile, the next mile will take care of itself. Right. So get through that mile, make your way over to the Magic Kingdom, to the Animal. I keep saying Magic Kingdom, to the Animal Kingdom, and you're gonna be over there in Magic Kingdom. How many times am I gonna say that?
A bunch, it seems
Animal
like.
Kingdom. Yeah, you're gonna get over there into the Animal Kingdom, and you're gonna be coming out of that Animal Kingdom. You're gonna be 19 miles into this thing. So if you remember the old course used to come through Animal Kingdom, and you would run out the front, and you would be in the Animal Kingdom parking lot, and that would be halfway. That's where the halfway point was. Well, halfway point was actually the very back of Animal Kingdom, and then you would come out and you would have a long jaunt from there, run into the Wide World of Sports, which we could do an entire podcast on whether people love or hate the Wide World of Sports. But I am so glad Wide World of Sports is not a part of this course anymore. It was the worst. I hated being in there. But regardless, you're going to leave there. And again, you're 19 miles in, so you're approaching that point where it's all got some 10K left. You're going to run. We run over to Blizzard Beach. We're going to run through Blizzard Beach. We're going to be 20, 21 miles coming out of Blizzard Beach. You're going to be 21 miles in. You're going to leave Blizzard Beach, and at that point, you're heading over to the Hollywood Studios. And again, this is kind of where you start realizing, I'm really going to do this. I'm going to finish this.
Almost done. Yeah.
You get through Blizzard Beach and it's like Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and we're home. So you'll head over to about mile 22 is halfway between Blizzard Beach and Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios, you'll be in there. You'll hit mile 23 inside of Hollywood Studios. You'll come out of Hollywood Studios, and you run, you run along the waterway there over towards Epcot. You'll run the boardwalk, and this is where a lot of emotions come at this point. Because again, you realize I'm going to make it. You're approaching Epcot. The end is in there. Like I said, you're from when you're in Hollywood Studios. I want you to think about this. You're just running a 5K. So think back to Thursday. It's like all I got to do is run a 5K, and I'm done. You'll run back into Epcot. That's about mile 24 and a half. You'll hit mile 25. Right there around that America Pavilion, somewhere between America and that range. You'll run all the way back around World Showcase, and then you'll run down and kind of run outside of Epcot, same place that you have, and then you're done. A couple of things about Marathon Day is there's a lot more action on the course, a lot of entertainment, a lot of character stops, a lot of opportunities to do those kind of things. If you get yourself where your mind's kind of playing tricks on you, you're getting down and you're really just mentally kind of broken, that might be a good time to stop for a character and just take a deep breath, get your mind right, get your mind back thinking right, and stop for a character stop, get your picture made, kind of get that Disney magic going again. Stay ahead of your hydration. There's going to be Powerade and water at every stop. There's a couple of food stops. Take your nutrition in. Do not get behind. If you get behind, you're never gonna catch up. This would be the place if you need to take nutrition on the course with you. Take it on the course with you. Do what you got to do. Determine if you want to ride rides. You can. Expedition Everest is something that people like to ride. You can, if you're going to do that, get in a single rider line. There's always a single rider line that you can get into, and you can just get on it and take off. Do that. Anything that's open, anything. If there's some people, they'll stop and they'll get a donut or something during the course, or if you want to get a Coke or something, just anything that you need to get. If it's open on course, you can get it. You can stop and you can buy it and do whatever you want to do. And so, yeah, that's the course breakdown. They're that 5K and 10K, they'll be done so quickly, and then like you said, it kind of builds. A half marathon day is the first day you really start feeling like, wow, what am I doing now? Well, this seemed like a great idea at one point. And then on that marathon, the key on Sunday is to just keep moving forward, and you just keep knocking off those miles, and just take it mile by mile, and those miles will tick off. There's plenty of things out there to keep you distracted, and then you'll come across. And what happens at the end is pretty cool. At the end of the marathon, there will be people there, as they are at the end of every one of the races. They'll put your full marathon medal on. Then you'll walk to a tent that will be the challenge tent, and they'll verify your picture, and they'll give you at that point. That's when you'll get your Goofy Challenge medal and the coveted Dopey Challenge medal, and then you're done.
And then you wear all 5 medals into the parks and ride things.
Then you wear all 5 medals. You go eat a big breakfast, pig out, do anything you want to do, put your medals on, walk around the parks or Disney Springs or wherever it is, and watch people look at you and give you the thumbs up, or they may be talking about, like, there's one of those crazy people, something like that. But yeah, that's when. And it'll really hit you too. And don't be surprised, especially if it's your first time, if you're not really emotional that day of what you just accomplished. And again, it's not even about the medals or the races at that point. It's really about the appreciation of the journey that got you to that point. that's the beauty of it. And so I would just encourage you, if you're listening to this, just remember your why. Why are you doing this? And remember that no matter what out there on that course, just keep moving forward. If you will keep moving forward, then you're going to be successful. So to the whole podcast family, the Dopey Challenge family out there, can't wait to see you. And hopefully all of you will have all your dreams come true in Disney and be successful. And for those of you who are probably listening to this, thinking about possibly taking on this challenge next year, no better time to start than right now. Getting your health, getting your fitness, moving towards a goal like this, and we would love to see you out on the course. But until then, just remember this at every single race. On Thursday, remember it. On Friday, remember it. On Saturday, remember it. And especially on Sunday. If you'll do the hard things today, tomorrow will take care of itself.